All right, we are going to pick this right back up. Part two of the interview with Corbin Downen. We're excited to continue to hear his story. I'll let you ride, Gannon.
Yeah, this is kind of a new question we just started asking. We had another entrepreneur clothing brand guy in the last couple of weeks with $0 clothing. But I'll kind of ask him, what's his 5 to 10 year outlook? Kind of what's your 5 to 10 year outlook with everything extraordinary? Just kind of going forward, maybe even 20 years plus, maybe, don't even cap it with the years, but what's the future outlook for you and kind of the company moving forward?
Well, I just started college at Highland to be a auto mechanic. I'm definitely not quitting the brand at all. It's gonna keep going. Just to give me something that can give me more money to put towards the brand, which I think is a chess move because I want to be able to move. I'm thinking Chicago. Um, but I'll bring this up in a second, but just to be able to put the brand in a better position, more opportunity, obviously. So I want to be in a bigger city. I love Freeport, but I'm selfish. I want to succeed. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like it's really hard to succeed, but I also want to bring the success back to Freeport. You know what I'm saying? Similar to what Virgil Abloh did with Rockford. Um, but I think 5 to 10 years, um, more collaborations. I got my goals listed on my whiteboard, but that's just for this year. I want to do more online sales. I've been really going hard at TikTok. I'm sitting at like
Mm-hmm.
3,700 followers on TikTok, over 200,000 hashtag views with the hashtag everything extraordinary. Um,
Hell
More pop-up shops. I want to do a Chicago pop-up shop this year. The first pop-up shop I did, which was in 2021, did about $1,000. Which I think it was like 7 hours, which was my first pop-up shop, which was great. And that was for cruise night. But yeah, I'm thinking, um, I want to finish college, obviously, that's an associate's degree, so that's gonna take 2 years. But I'm just trying to juggle it the best I can. I'm not really looking on slowing down on anything, but really just managing everything. And yeah, I think in 5 years you could probably see me move to another city, and the brand be a lot bigger and on a lot of people.
I like that. Yeah, I happened to see the pop-up shop. I'm not sure if it was on an Instagram post or something, but I was scrolling through the feed. I saw the tent and everything and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that's actually interesting because we're talking about that. I'm sitting here thinking about it in the general sense that like so Gannon and I had an event last
We need to do
this
a
past.
collab,
That's
man.
what I'm sitting here thinking. So
He
I'm
just
sitting here
said I'm trying
thinking.
to collab more. I heard of that.
So I'm
Yeah.
sitting here thinking about it. Yeah, we had our event at Wayside Saloon. Got a decent amount of people there. Got spokespeople to
Congrats.
talk. Appreciate that. And yeah, no, that'd be something I definitely would love to do in the
Yeah, well,
future.
because we've talked, we're got something in the works for some summertime events coming up. So once that gets closer, we can definitely get something worked.
Can
Yeah,
I add something?
yeah. Go
I have
ahead.
I have something that's gonna shake the community. Okay, so this is very a rough draft, but I have a lot of notes on this. I want to do a basketball tournament for Freeport. I'm thinking of collabing with Isaiah train.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
he's been really busy though, and he has the connection with because he's the coach for the
Yep.
high school
Mm-hmm.
team. Um, but I'm thinking like all out, like I just have a lot of ideas. But I want to do a basketball tournament, preferably at Freeport High School in the main gym. Have food vendors. I got my clothes on a couple rappers and a couple artists, so I know a couple artists that I think I could probably get to perform at the high school, which would draw in even more people. And having obviously you guys, you
Oh,
know,
we're in. Count us in.
yeah, like you know what I'm saying, and like this be the biggest thing in Freeport ever, just ever. Like this be like a yearly thing, So it's like I dream big, so and I know it's possible. So
So let's
That's
let's let's
hopefully,
do something we haven't done before. Again, we're so drawn to the interview fashion where it's question, question, question. But now let's mix it up here a little bit because let's brainstorm this a little bit. So we got him talking about this basketball tournament idea. I think it's awesome. and then you bring us along, obviously talking about artists and pop-up shop, basketball tournament, bringing people together in Freeport. That's the key right there. We're bringing all them people together. And I think on top of it, Gannon and I, we can bring the athletes. We bring the people in. We do breakdown interviews, discussing about the youth.
So we can just get more social media with different brand coverage. You can get more notoriety, get the word out there more. Just
Oh yeah,
No,
for
yeah,
sure.
I like it. I think it's a
I have
great idea.
I have a bunch of dude, like I'm talking from like, broadcasting the game live, having live music, having food, having just all like, dude, it's a long list that I've been thinking about, and it was just in like one day, and I was just like, we could do like a 3-on-3, like, and winner gets a cash prize, and like, you
yeah,
know,
merged from
dude,
different people that are there. They get an interview. They get this. They get some. Yeah,
it's it could be the biggest thing in Freeport. I'm telling you, like
And
easy.
that's the biggest
now
thing is like these
now
ideas before you go again. Like
yeah.
ideas like this is like we need more people in Freeport in our community that are willing to brainstorm like this. I think a lot of it is a lost art in Freeport where we wake up every day, we go to our 9 to 5, we wake up every day, we go to school, and
Mhm.
them thoughts are lost. It goes out the window, and we tend to not lock into the fact that we can still do things to build this community. We can still do things like that to help other people, to raise money. It could be a fundraiser type of thing, something of that sort to help people, bring the community together. We got to do more of it.
That is what we need for sure.
Exactly. Go ahead, Gannon.
I mean, you just kind of mentioned, the youth and this culture and just your overall vibe on the website and just everything that I've gotten so far from that, plus the event, just all these talks. Why is it that? Like, why is that such a priority through your lives and like through the community, and why Freeport? Like, why do you feel like this is such a necessity that needs to be done for 815 and more specifically Freeport?
Because I'm tired of seeing us fall apart. I'm tired of the separation, and it's really a boring town. I mean, I'll be honest, like there's not really much to do. I grew up here, and you really either have to play sports or video games. And like you really don't have much to do. So it's like, imagine an event, summertime event, or multiple events, just something, give the kids something to do. We're bored. They got to go to Rockford. They got to go to the mall to have fun. Like I'm sure that's what you guys did, growing up. You guys go to the,
Yeah.
Rockford. You got to go somewhere else. Why can't you just
Yeah.
be in Freeport?
Mm-hmm.
Especially they closed down the skate station. There's not much to do. And it's like, and I
Skate
don't know.
park's closed now
Yeah,
too.
skate parks closed. They're removing stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
what about the kids? They're the next generation. They're coming up. So it's like, you need people like us three, trained like all these people to the grown-ups, the people with the power, the voice to be the kids' voice, to, like they're bored, give them
Well,
something to
that's
do.
the thing. Like you said, like the kids' voice now, like it's not kids anymore. Like we're becoming the grown-ups now, and it's like we got legit ideas and reasoning behind some of the stuff that we lived and gone through in that exact area in that exact town called Freeport. Like that's the thing that just blows my mind, because then it's not even like people might. I mean, because we've rambled on this. This is a little different than what we've done before, but this isn't like politics or anything we're trying to dive into here. This is just creating a better life for the youth and everybody, so then they grow up, they have a better experience with their life. And that,
Exactly.
sometimes that doesn't happen in Freeport, and that's the sad part, because I mean, we've seen it, man. You go to Freeport, like it's a different type of eye-opening experience that you see, and it's a shame, because there's a lot of opportunities, and there's so much with a lot of these kids that they can get one or two things with their hands on it, and might open up so many doors for them. And I think that's the biggest thing that we need to just keep pounding and pounding until we get to that level to where we can consistently do that monetarily wise. I think that's the biggest thing, because we all have the idea and we all have the visions and like the little pieces that we can come together and make this work. It's just until we can, get some money, some stuff to back some of this, because
Oh, yeah.
that takes a lot of it. So I think the hardest part is filling that gap with us three and everybody else included to do stuff for the community until we can get to that money time. And I think that's the hardest part, and it's going to be the most, I wouldn't say stressful, but like we have to just brainstorm a lot and think of different ways. But like
Down.
events, but like you said, the events and all that are just ways it's trying. It's the same thing with you and your company. You've tried different stuff. You've tried the startup
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Like it's you just try to get your name and business out there in different ways, and you're gonna find something that works, and that's what you eventually will hit. It's just not everybody will hit that on the first couple tries, and that's
Oh
the
yeah,
issue.
for sure. I mean, you got trial and error and everything. I'm ready to fail. It's not even failure, it's learning. It's like,
That's how you succeed.
no,
That's
exactly. It's like this is completely possible. I sometimes it's funny because I look back and I'm like, I'm only 19. Like really, what am I? But I'm like, I can run this. Like, dude, let's do it. Like, what's stopping me? Like, we gotta try. There's people we can get this done. Like for real. It's just like, are people on the same energy as I am? Like for real. Like I'm willing to spend my own money on this kind of stuff. I'm willing to go to any business, ask for sponsors, go to Freeport. Dude, when I was in high school, I literally went to a Freeport High School board meeting to try to get rid of the dress code. And guess what? Now they got rid of the dress code. So I don't know if I played a part, but let me know any other student going to a Freeport School District board meeting. Like no one, so I'm determined. When I set my mind on something, it's probably gonna get done, or yeah. It's
I
probably
like that. I like that because it's actually funny. You mentioned that, like, if we have to fail to succeed. Gannon and I recorded an episode on that literally a couple days ago, and that'll be coming out as well. And like that's the same mindset that we got, in the sense that, like, failure isn't meaning that you're doing something wrong. It doesn't mean that you have lost the game. It doesn't mean that you won't be able to create a business. It doesn't mean that your business has even failed. It
right,
literally simply means you have some things to correct. You have
right,
some things to fix.
You're
And,
finding different ways. You're just
and
finding different ways to succeed. That's
well,
all.
that's the key. As long as you're willing to find the way to fix those things, to create change, in the struggles or the adversity that you're going through, then you will see the success. And I think, just from talking to you, you have the mindset for it. People in Freeport, like, we need more of that. We need more of the willing to fail, because I think a lot of people in our area, it's like you fail once and
It's
it's
normal.
it's normal, but it's you fail once and you're done. You're not going to try to get back up. You're not going to try to restart what you were working on. I think it's more so a fail one time, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not going to try this anymore.
right,
But I think that's the craziest thing, that we all have to analyze and realize that if we chose to work together on a concept, work together on how to better our area, our community. Because I think, for example, like, there is so much divide in our community between leaders in our community and people. The
exactly.
community and the leaders, there's so much divide there. There's so much tension. There's no togetherness. There's no working together, and
It's a
brainstorming
really
ideas.
quiet town. It's a really quiet town, like
It
you
is
go
eerily
through it,
quiet.
like the downtown's dead. It's like, what's going on? Where's the color? Where's everything's like, black and white and gray. It's like,
Hmm.
where's the what's going on? One thing I do want to add though is that you know how I know that I'm I, I don't want to like toot my own horn, I guess, but like I know I'm making an impact, and this is just for personal reasons, because when I was doing my pop-up shop for cruise night this past year, a kid walked up to me. Well, he's probably not a kid, he's probably like a teenager, but I know he's probably still in high school, and he was like, I've been following your brand. I want to start my own brand. Can you give me some advice? I gave him some advice. And I was like, that was really cool, because I've had people text me before, I want to start my own brand. And I always give them advice. I'm never like, oh, you gotta pay for this advice. It's like, you know, but I give him advice. And then his his mom commented under my post and was like, thank you for giving my son advice. And I was just like, dang, like, that's crazy. And then like eventually, like, she bought some of my stuff for him for a Christmas gift. Like, when people are gifting my clothes as a gift, and that's happened multiple times now, how can I stop? How can I look like you're telling me I'm gonna fail, like do a little, fail a little bit, like, oh, I'm done. What about all those people that you just inspired?
Yep.
What about them? You look like a failure now. Like, no, I'm not stopping. Like,
When you
no,
let them down, you let those
right,
people down,
Well,
and
right.
That's the
And
biggest
Well,
thing.
yeah, well, like the biggest thing, like you said, even if it just is that one kid that came up and said that to you, what if that sets a foundation for that kid to go on to not even have his own clothing brand, but just to go on and inspire him to do more for the rest of his life? And then
exactly.
what if you stop and doing all this in your own dreams, and then you give that message to somebody else, and that takes them back to square one also. So there's just not only an impact on you, but also everybody else. And I think, and that's kind of a lesson to other people with your decisions and your lessons and everything else moving forward. Whatever you do, there's consequence. You know, there's always something to do with what you do with your actions and all that. But I don't know, Bryce, you got anything else for him? We've hit a
Well, I
lot, we've
just
talked a
I
lot. I
wanna
mean, it's
I wanna throw on the point that you made that because I mean me sitting here, we've done this podcast for over 2 years now. 2020 starting during COVID, rough time for everyone, obviously. And you made that point. You talk about what about those people? What about those people that I've inspired? How can I quit now? And I
Right.
think that's crucial for people to understand no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're doing in life, it could be you could be going to school. And if you decide in college you're going to mess around, drink every single day, and not go to class, who are you letting down? You're letting down your parents, you're letting down the people, the teachers that you previously had in high school, you're letting down your friends. Another example, Gannon and I with
Letting
the
down yourself.
podcast.
You're letting down
Exactly.
yourself,
Exactly.
that's the biggest thing.
No, it
Right.
is. It is. That's the most massive thing right there is understanding, yeah, you're letting yourself down. You're letting your craft down. You're letting your work down, your passion. You're letting the love for something down. And for people that choose to do that, I'll never be able to understand it because I think it's never something that was instilled in me. But I know there are people out there that struggle with that. And I think the biggest thing to understand within that concept is if you're one who doesn't have a plan right now, doesn't feel like they have a future in something, doesn't understand where they want to go, what they want to do. Because Gannon, you and I can sit here and we can chop this up all the time because we have and we've developed that mindset. We've developed the mindset of we're chasing something, we're going for something, and we're not going to stop for anyone to get there.
Great.
But there are people out there that have no idea how to get there, no idea how to get in the spot we're in, the mindset we're in. So I think for people to understand, I'll give my thoughts and then I'll let you both explain how you guys have gotten to where you're at with your mindset. Because I think a lot of people in today's world have a closed mindset where they wake up every day. It's a continuous line of the same thing over and over and over and over before it comes routine. And then you're so comfortable in your environment. And that's why a lot of people choose not to leave Freeport, choose not to help Freeport because they're so comfortable in the
Oh
environment
yeah.
that they're in where everything is the same every single day, every single night, and they're comfortable in it. Now, how do we get to that uncomfortable spot? So, for someone out there that's listening, Corbin, you can go first. How do we get to the spot where we all can become uncomfortable, like us three are here, being vulnerable, talking about the areas that we need to improve on, talking about our individual crafts? How do we get to that uncomfortable spot, being okay with being uncomfortable?
I'll go back and shout out my dad because he really drilled in my mind to be successful and to be someone. And he's been homeless before. He's been a crackhead. He's been very down and out. Not the worst ever because there's always worse. But he really instilled in my mind that you're gonna be a grown up soon. And I was like, okay, well, instead of me, I'm gonna prepare myself and I'm not gonna fail. And I refuse to fail. Like I refuse to like overall fail. I know over time you're gonna have obstacles. But I'm talking about like giving up, that kind of failure. Um, so and that goes back to when I brought up earlier, like having a good parent because they're the ones who raise you. And it's like, I have I don't know, it's just yeah, I don't know. Yeah, my dad played a big part in just helping shape my mindset and also being alone a lot, being alone with myself and really being able to think about my life. And I was like, I don't I'm sort of scared to not scared to fail, but scared to not try. That's the thing. Is like I at least want to know I tried.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And yeah, so better preparing myself.
I think that before I get into the some specifics that I had real quick, I just took a couple notes, and you said the being alone part. I think that really speaks a lot to me, being an only child, a little different angle than I think some other people. Just, especially once I got out of high school and got to college, and just that's when I had a lot of more of the real life stuff kind of hit while also being on my own. So I think that these last 4 years have really done a lot of my own personal growth. But I think the biggest thing just to really realize that the bad days, the bad times, they're all temporary. Like, I don't know, like I look at it as like a daily clock, like the 24 hours. If something goes bad, something ruins my day, like I understand once I hit the pillow that night, go to sleep, it's a reset. Next day is a new day. Like that's just been something that I try and work on every single day. Like again, I say this all the time. These are all stuff that we're preaching to people that are listening to this while we're also working on this each day. It's not something that we've mastered, and I think that's the biggest thing I want to keep hitting home to this. But the other thing Corbin said was just, I don't know specifically, but in my words, it's taking risks. And I think that's the biggest thing it is. You're not going to learn or find out anything new or cool or an identity about yourself unless you put yourself in those vulnerable situations. And I think that's the biggest thing that people don't always realize. And once you put yourself in those situations and you know it's you against that obstacle, and then you overcome that obstacle when it's just you getting there, I think that's the coolest part, and knowing that you did it on your own. Again, it sounds like it would be easier for me being an only child, I think, but I think that was a harder concept for me to find out during my life, just growing up. But it was those things. I think self-reflection is another really big thing, and some of the vulnerable things. It's the after the moment saying, okay, was this good? Was this bad? Because you can always get good and bads out of any situation, regardless of what it is. But I think that's the biggest thing. You just got to look at like your life a game as a level. Like each day you're leveling up. Like some days you might stay at that level. You might not be able to get that level on Candy Crush that day, but you're going to eventually get that damn level on Candy Crush. It might take the next day or the next day after, but that's how I look at life. Like it's that simple. It's crazy and cliche enough, but that's how you got to look at it, because some days you're going to be stuck. But like I'm never going back, in my opinion. That's kind of how I'm looking at it now. Like you're stuck. You're sitting here until you figure out how you can pass to that next level, and that's the next day and getting up and just doing your grind. But that's my stuff.
Can I add something to
Yeah, go.
I have a couple things I also want to add. Like you said, comfortability is terrible. You don't want to be content. You always should push to progress and be better. Like, why would you, especially if you're young, especially if you're just becoming an adult?
Because we don't know what's right or wrong. Technically, we've only seen what's right or wrong. We haven't learned it, and that's the biggest thing.
Right, and take those risks. Exactly. Don't be. It's so crazy. It's so sad that coming out of high school, it's scary. It depends on your position. Some people have more money than others, and they're getting into a nice college. They got a nice dorm room, and everything is paid for. But some people are like, I'm still working at McDonald's. Like, I don't even know the right from wrong. So you can't blame them. It's all perspective too. Perspective is huge, because people try to understand each other, but it's really hard if you have a closed mind. Also keep an open mind. That's what has helped me a ton. And with brand designs, and like I even went to I've always been into stocks. I haven't been the best, but then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to a financial advisor. And I was thinking like, I'm 19. Why, you never hear of a 19-year-old going to a financial advisor. That's like a grown person thing. She treated me just as like a grown-up, and that's what I am. I'm a grown-up. I'm an adult, and it's actually better to, and also invest too, because I was looking at the projections. If you invest, I don't know how much you guys know about stocks and stuff, but like, dude, like you just, like 401ks, get into that stuff. If you're young, that's my biggest financial advice. Get into 401ks, get into investing, go to a professional, because they will probably gladly help you. And the younger you are, the better you're setting yourself up. One more thing that I'm sorry I talk a lot.
No, you're good. You're good.
But like, don't think this is another financial thing, because finances are really important. I mean, like they could make or break your depression, like they could make or break your life. But I've seen on social media, I've even tried it myself, you're not going to get rich quick. You're not going to get rich quick. It's better off making long-term investments, finding, maybe make a business. Don't think that you're going to go online and make $1 million. It's like, that's just like, that's overplayed. And like, I've tried it before. It's I just don't recommend it. You're probably going to lose a bunch of money, and take those risks while you're young. That's all I'll say.
I like it. I like it. Take the risk while you're young. I think step outside your comfort zone is the key to this episode, is understanding that. So we mentioned Gannon said he said being able to self-reflect. Corbin said being able to be alone by yourself. So two common themes right there. Where it's the same thing. Be able to analyze your issues. Be able to learn from them. Be able to analyze what you're good at versus what you're bad at, and continue to grow and continue to learn step by step, day by day. And I think we'll be better off as a person, as a community. But yeah, I just want to say thank you, man, for hopping on here, giving us the opportunity to hear your story, shed light on some issues, shed light on how to persevere through tough times, how to grow a brand, how to help your own business, how to take risks, how to succeed, how to fail. I think there's tons of valuable insights, lessons involved within this episode. I greatly appreciate you once again. I'll let Gannon end with his final thoughts.
Yeah, no, man. Shout out to you. It's just been cool because a lot of the stuff that we've preached and that we said to people in the 815 community, like this is a legit living proof right here of what it is, and I think that's the cool story. And also being 19 years old and starting all this when he started high school, like just the visions and all this is just it's a process, and like it keeps going in the right motion for you. So it's just been cool. I remember when you first started. I've been a fan from a distance, just following on social media, seeing stuff from over the years. But it's been cool to just see that in your growth. Just when he came up and talked to me in the Y over the winter break and stuff when we were just talking about working out and all that, and I said something about the Des Bryant internship. It was a little something. You're like, well, it's not little, like it's something cool. Like people don't get to see that in Freeport. So like just little stuff like that, man. You just always been that's your character and that's your type of person. So I know your perseverance with the brand and going forward, it's only going to keep elevating. So it's just been cool to see that, knowing you for a few years now, going back to the Freeport days and all that, back in the gym with the baseball days. It's been a long ride, but it's been awesome, man. I'm proud of you, and just keep going, man. Best of luck, and we'll stay in touch and definitely keep chopping up ideas, and we'll get that event stuff planned out.
For sure. Congratulations to you guys having a great podcast, bringing on great guests. I've seen a couple episodes, and it's just like you guys are killing it. So don't try to compare yourselves to anyone. Just compare yourselves to who you guys were before, and just keep progressing, keep going.
Thank you, man. I mean,
Oh,
it
yeah, man.
means a lot to the both of us. And I think the one last plug I want to make is Everything Extraordinary. Check it out on socials. Check out the website. That'll all be in the description of part one and part two of this episode. Uh, check out the merch. Check out what he's got going. Learn about him. We can all learn through each other. And you can see art on a t-shirt. You can see art with pants, with shorts, with hats. You can see a personality through their vision, through their work. So appreciate his work. He's an A15 guy. We're thankful for him. We're thankful for the work he's putting in to better our community, better himself, because that's what we want to do. We want to better him or herself every single day. Continue to take those wins every single day, step by step. Once again, we hope you guys appreciated this episode, learned something, and can take a little bit of advice out of it. And we'll let Corbin rock with one more thing.
This is only the beginning. I'll just say that.
Love to hear it, because that's what Gannon and I say all the time, man. Because everyone's got to start somewhere. Everyone's got to keep pushing, and at the end of the day, we'll get there. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode and keep tapping in.